I want to thank everybody for being on tonight. I'm guessing there's a combination of people who are already leaders in Shaklee, some people who've already chosen to see what's so awesome about Shaklee, and maybe some people also who haven't tried it yet. And I'm going to be talking to all of you tonight, but specifically I really want the people who haven't experienced Shaklee yet to pay attention and see if there's something I can share tonight that might make you help make you make a choice about what you're going to do next as far as Shaklee is concerned. Thank you for being on tonight. As Kevin said, I am super passionate about Shaklee, and I'm going to share a little bit more about myself and why I made the choice to take on a Shaklee business as well as using the products myself. And my story with Shaklee started a while ago. I was actually diagnosed with a chronic illness when I was 13 years old. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And there are a couple photos here that you can look at, and one of them is with me with my dad when I was 21, and I had just graduated from college. It was around that time that I went to a doctor, and he told me that I had been living beyond my pain threshold, which was pretty high, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for about 4 years, which is basically all of college. So I was not very healthy in that photo. And then the other photo here was actually just taken in August. As Kevin shared, I just qualified for the second year in a row for the U.S. national team in kettlebell sport. And so obviously this is a very different photo, and I'm 30 years old now. So this is a difference of just under a decade from one photo to the other. I also have a quote here that I love. When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve that. And I believe that. My story with Shaklee started about 8 years ago when I decided I was going to figure out some kind of a solution to my fibromyalgia. It took a lot of different things. I learned about exercise, I learned about nutrition, I learned about stress management, and I learned about a ton of different ways that I could manage my health condition naturally. I did choose not to use pharmaceutical medications, although I know that there are a lot of great options out there for people like me. Shaklee and supplementation was a piece that I resisted for a lot of years until I met my friend Rebecca, who shared Shaklee with me just over 3 years ago. I was able to add supplements in as an incredible way to support all of the other things that I was already doing to make my health the way that I really wanted it to be. And after adding those supplements in, I was able to start back training again and get back to being an athlete again, which I hadn't been able to do since I was in my teens. So, again, my story is not necessarily typical, and Shaklee is not about diagnosing or treating any diseases of any kind. But what I can share with you is that these supplements really, really work. And they work so much that I decided to start sharing them with others and create a business and an income stream for myself around them. So, enough about me, and I will share a little more as I go along about other reasons why Shaklee matters to me. But I want to connect with you. And to do that, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to keep these questions in mind as I share about Shaklee. And the first question is, are you where you want to be in your life? Do you enjoy your career? Are you doing things that you love most of the hours of the day? And next, how do you feel about your health and fitness level? Are there goals that you would like to work toward that you have put aside? Are there things that you would like to do that you haven't quite reached yet? Have you been thinking about taking some steps to improve some things and something just keeps getting in your way and you're not doing it? What about family? Is your work and family life in balance, or do you find yourself stuck in a job or making compromises and not being able to spend time with the people who matter to you? Maybe that's something that you'd like to make a different positive impact in. And do you have the lifestyle you've always wanted? Are you able to, again, spend time with the people who matter to you, doing the things that matter most to you most of the time? If you are, that's amazing. Most of us, including myself, have a little trouble with that sometimes. And I'm going to share with you more about Shaklee because what if there was a way that you were able to take maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 hours out of your week, and you were able to create another stream of income that could come in and support you in taking more time for those things that matter to you. Maybe that looks like going on trips, either with your partner, whoever you love, or with your family. Or maybe that looks like a little extra money. Maybe there's some school loans or some debt that you want to pay off that you've just been struggling to make a dent in. Maybe an extra $500 to $1,000 a month might help you pay off those things faster and give you more freedom. And what if that lifestyle could also be done by you making a difference in helping other people? I know it might sound a little too good to be true, but that's really what we're offering you with Shaklee. When we talk about the Shaklee effect, and my health story is one of so many people who have experienced positive health transformations based upon the products that we offer with Shaklee. And basically, with the business side of Shaklee, what we're able to do is we're able to create a ripple effect by helping one person at a time and sharing with one person at a time and helping them share with others as well, just about little positive ways that we can help each of our own health as well as help the environment at the same time. Now, again, if you're someone who's listening to this for the first time, or maybe you've heard this, you've seen a presentation like this before, but you just haven't quite pulled the trigger yet, and you're trying to figure out what the best option is for you moving forward, I want you to think of these three things. You have the opportunity to use products and try the Shaklee products in your home and in your body and see how they feel. You also have the opportunity to take a little step further and share those products with others, maybe your close friends, maybe your family, and see if there's a way that you could share a little and get a little money back and get some perks, maybe get some discounts on the products that you love. And the third option we have is the one that I actually chose a few years ago, is to build a team of people. Because if I'm able to talk to, let's say, 10 people in a week about Shaklee, what if I was able to help 5 other people also be talking to 10 people a week about Shaklee? Then I'm reaching 60 people a week through those other people that I've helped support in the business, as opposed to just my 10 that I would be able to talk to. Now, when it comes to Shaklee, something that's really special about what we're doing and the products that we have to offer to people is that we actually have the corner on the market of multiple different multi-billion-dollar industries that are growing right now. We are working with the healthy weight and weight management industry, which is a $14 billion industry. We have opportunity to work with the healthy beauty industry, which is a $107 billion industry. Healthy home is a $92 billion industry. And some of our other healthy solutions and healthy foundations that we have in our supplementation offerings with Shaklee are over $145 billion. So there is money being spent in these industries. And with Shaklee, we're able to offer solutions to people in a smooth and easy way just by sharing and educating them about what we have that's going to enable them to use that spending and use that money into something that can actually make an impact in their health. Another thing that's really special about Shaklee, and I have to say, this was the thing that turned my head and got me to pay attention, because I had been living with a chronic illness since I was 13, and when I was shared Shaklee just over 3 years ago, I had heard it all before. I'd heard about supplements. I'd had people try to get me to take them for a long time, and I was a Pilates instructor and personal trainer, and I thought I knew everything about everything when it came to health and nutrition. But when I learned just how long Shaklee's been around, and I learned about Dr. Shaklee's commitment to nature and to really developing products that worked, when I learned that he created the first multivitamin back in 1915, and that he really was figuring out a way to create a trend forward in building nutrition based upon the natural principle of what can nature do to help us improve our health. It stopped me for a second. And then when I heard that Roger Barnett had bought the company about 10 years ago now, at the time for me it was around 7, and when I heard about the fact that he was already a successful entrepreneur, and he was from a family of entrepreneurs, And he already had a track record in making businesses work and understanding marketing and understanding what a business like this would need to grow into the next century. I stopped again and I listened a little more closely. And I took a chance and I thought, well, what if I could take this and I can take this incredible foundation of over 50 years and I can take this moving into the future momentum that Roger is creating for the company. And what if I could start to share this with other people? And what if they had the same reaction that my body had, or they felt just great and energetic from working on some basic supplementation for their bodies? What if I could make a bigger difference? And then the thing that really made me pull the trigger was when I heard about the Shaklee difference. And this is something that, again, goes back years. It goes back to Dr. Shaklee. The Shaklee difference is that we are committed that all of our products will always be safe, they will always be green, and they will always work. To give you an idea about the safety of products, there are over 100,000 quality tests done per year on Shaklee products. And I have seen, as a business leader in Shaklee, a couple times where there was an ingredient that we couldn't source safely or there was a question about something. Shaklee doesn't even stop at that. The product is pulled off our website and it's unavailable until the company is able to figure out just what might be going wrong. As well, there's over $250 million spent in research and development. I've had the opportunity to watch the company as they develop a few new products and put them out to market. And I've watched just how many years and just how much time goes into making sure that those products are safe and that they work. Because what good is a product if it's really safe, but it doesn't actually do what we want it to do? And along those lines as well, Shaklee has been published in over 100 scientific publications, and over 90 of those are in peer-reviewed scientific journals. And this is a big deal. We even have one that I'll tell you about in a moment, a longitudinal study that was published in 2007. But first, always green. From the beginning, Dr. Shaklee was committed to figuring out what we could do to have nature support our health. But at the same time, he wanted to make sure that we were giving back to nature so that we would have that ability ongoing. And in 1960, Dr. Shaklee created the first non-toxic biodegradable green cleaning product. This is back before it was trendy to be green and to understand our carbon footprint. And Shaklee was actually the first company to be certified carbon neutral. And that means that we offset all of our carbon emissions. So as I'm listening to this and when this was being shared with me, it almost seemed too good to be true. So there's a company that has products that work, that are safe, and wait, you're also telling me that the company makes sure that they have no carbon footprint? It's amazing, and it is true. And so I listened a little further. And I'm someone that science really matters to me. So when I heard about the landmark study, that also made a huge impact. To understand that basically Shaklee partnered with Gladys Block at UC Berkeley School of Public Health, and they were able to do a study that took Shaklee users into account, people who've been using multiple different Shaklee products over time, and compare them to people who had used a basic sort of brand X multivitamin, a generic brand, and people who use no supplements at all. They were able to see in this study that the Shaklee users, their results were positively statistically relevant. Basically, that means that the research showed in a way that was worth mentioning upon that their results were superior to both other parties' studies. And some of those markers that they studied were triglyceride levels and total cholesterol levels, homocysteine levels, which is basically sort of how well is your body operating overall, and as well C-reactive protein levels. Now, being someone who has dealt with stress in my system and inflammation in my system as a result of a chronic condition, I'm really interested in C-reactive protein levels. Those are things that I had studied in my body, and I had an opportunity to have studied
my body after a few years on Shaklee products, and it was amazing to watch those numbers drop. And again, if we're able to reduce inflammation and stress in the body, a lot of the incidences for chronic conditions can be positively impacted. So these are really cool numbers that actually exist in a scientific study. Now, taking it back to you, I've talked a lot about what Shaklee means to me and how it was that I decided to take a chance on this business at a time when I didn't really need another business. I was very busy teaching clients and running my acting career and running all over New York City. But I realized that if I could share with people a couple different options, which I'll share with you now, that I can make a huge impact on their health. So a couple things that you have to look at are our healthy foundations, which is basically taking a look at what might be missing in your diet and fitting some nutrients in there to fill in those gaps. Another thing that you might do is you might know that there's something that you want to positively impact through a holistic approach through some specific targeted solutions. We do suggest you start with the healthy foundations first, so you have a baseline to understand what your body might need, and then add in some of those targeted solutions as you know what might be helpful for you. Another thing is you might have been trying, and I've heard this with clients for years in the fitness industry, you might have been trying to lose that same 10 to 15, maybe 20 pounds for the last 10 years. You lose it, it comes back, maybe some of it comes back, and then maybe all of it comes back, maybe with an extra 2 pounds. If that's you, it might be worth taking a look at our healthy weight and weight management line. It's a really, really awesome way to sort of get that good and solid and find a healthy weight and stick with it. Another thing you might be interested in is our healthy beauty line. My skin is very sensitive, so I'm always really excited that I can have a skincare option that going to keep my skin looking great and healthy, but not have any of those crazy gross chemicals in them that I don't want. And another thing would be our healthy home line. And this, again, goes along with the philosophy of the company. It's green, and it's not going to include any chemicals that might be harmful for your health, your kids' health, or even the health of your pets. So again, some of the further questions that we want to ask here, which would help you figure out what of these sort of product line or product offerings would be the right one for you to look at first, would be what's most important to you. Is it the right daily nutrition? Is that what's going to look good for you? Are you concerned about aging, or do you know you have risk factors in your family for any major chronic health conditions that you would like to sort of take a positive impact on? And from that, maybe what would be your most important health concern? Is it your skin? Is that what's the most important for you to make sure that you're positively impacting? Or are you thinking about chemical-free, non-toxic products for your home? From that, giving you a little teeny bit more information on each one, we have the healthy foundations. This includes the vitalizer. And the vitalizer is something that I love to talk about with all my clients because it's so simple. When you talk to most nutritionists, they're going to tell you that most people need a good multivitamin, B and C complex, a strong probiotic, and some omegas and some good fish oil and things like that, good oils to help their body out. We have all of that in the vitalizer in a simple strip that you don't have to think about. Even further, we made sure scientifically that it's going to get where it needs to go. There's a delivery system on the vitalizer that makes sure that your B and C complex goes on a time release and it keeps releasing throughout the day, and your probiotic is triple encapsulated to make sure that it survives your stomach acid to go all the way down to your colon where you need it. I won't spend a ton more time on this, but just know that if you're choosing any of these products, someone has thought long and hard about how to make sure you get the nutrition where you need it. Again, further, we have awesome healthy solutions. The Nutrifuron helps boost immune system and immune support. We have some options for regulating and controlling blood pressure as well as cholesterol, and great things like Omega Guard and CoQ Heart to help heart health. We even have a new product, MindWorks, which helps reduce the shrinkage in your brain and helps increase the length of helps keep the length of your telomeres long as you age. And as well, the Vivix, my favorite product. This is one that I take every single day just to make sure that I'm reducing stress and impact in my body of my daily life as an athlete. Our healthy weight line, as I said, is awesome for creating an opportunity to get to your goal weight. Maybe you've been trying for a while It does that by actually helping your body create and maintain muscle mass while you're burning fat. And as an athlete, I have to work pretty hard to maintain my muscle. My workouts actually make it so that I start to lose weight, and I use Shaklee 180 as a way for me to maintain muscle mass and maintain strength and size as I'm training really hard. Our skincare line, I already talked about that a little bit, totally natural and safe and green. And our Healthy Home line, what's important about this too is that it's also really cost effective. It's green in terms of what's in it, as well as in the way that it works. Now, for example, our Basic H, which is our cleaning product, which is based upon Basic H2, it's based upon the initial cleaning product that Dr. Shaklee designed back in the 60s. It doesn't include any water in it. So when you buy a bottle of this Basic H, and we like to joke that in New York, our apartments are so small that one bottle of Basic H can last us as long as like 6 years, sometimes more, even though we do clean. That's about an $11 bottle of cleaning products. You're able to actually take that and you're able to mix that with water and clean anything in your home with it. So you're not only saving money and saving the environment by not having chemicals in your home, but you're not recycling that bottle for a long time. So there's actually less physical waste going into the landfill or into the recycling as well. Just something cool. So I've talked a lot about the products. I've talked a lot about how awesome Shaklee is, and I want to just quick touch on how this might work for you on the business side if that's what you want to do. We're really creating a flexible way for people to create another income stream in addition to what they're already doing. You can do it on your own time, in your own way. You can work it around whatever else you have going on. And the first way you can take that on is to become a distributor. And when you're a distributor, this is when you're starting to get your feet wet. You're working with whoever shared Shaklee with you, and you're learning how to share this with others. You're learning how to really get what matters to them. And once you do that, you're able to start creating a little bit of income. Maybe you're able to get your products for free, meaning that you don't have to spend money on those outside. And then if you keep working, you're going to get to the role of director. I was able to get to director within about 3 months of sponsoring into Shaklee. And again, maybe that's typical, maybe not. I think it worked for me because I was so passionate I wanted to talk to everybody about it. And I did that right away. I also had really great support and training from Rebecca and from the other leaders who helped me start the business. And then once you're at a director level, I always really like people to take a look at this and see how far they want to go with it. Because the cool thing is you can take it as far as you want. As Kevin shared, I'm a senior coordinator, so another option here further along from director is to become a coordinator. And at this level, you're still working part-time, but you're earning an income that's starting to make a bigger impact in your day-to-day life. You're also earning a bonus for a car, which I do. I actually have a car in New York City, and I actually really love having it. And I've also been on a couple trips paid for by Shaklee. And that happened when I started sharing with other people how they could start businesses and create an income stream for themselves. The rank that I'm working toward now is executive coordinator. And when I get to executive coordinator, this means that I will have helped 3 people get to the level of director and create incomes for themselves through sharing the products. And it's at this point that it starts to be an income that is a bit more full-time. And it's at this point when I get there that I could start to think about maybe I want to cut back a little bit on some of my fitness clients. And that would give me a little more freedom to focus more on my training and my acting career and my traveling. So again, this is about you. This is about what would you like to see this be for you and how much money would you like to create with it. And then you work with whoever sponsors you to create a plan on how to make that happen. As well, you can take this as far as our rank of master coordinator. And a lot of people do have it. It's by no means easy to get there. It takes a lot of really hard work, but it's absolutely worth it. I like to think of, and I'm working toward master coordinator, I will get there one day. And I will know when I've gotten to master coordinator that I got there because I made a huge ripple effect. I helped so many people, and they helped other people. And a lot of people are healthier, and they have income, and they've paid off debt. And then I'll really know that that's how I got to that far along. But I want you to look at this, too, because there are rewards and opportunities available at all different levels of activity. And maybe you want to get to senior director, and that's around $12,000 a year. And maybe that, along with a monthly car payment that you could get at the senior director level, maybe that is going to help your family just take it a little easier and take an extra trip every month or so, or you're able to take that extra income and maybe buy a different home or put an addition on the home you have. Maybe that's the opportunity you need. Or maybe you really are looking for a new career and you want to reach to something like a key coordinator or a senior key coordinator, and you're really willing to put in the time and effort that it takes to get there. Both of those options are totally fine. And that's where I just want you to think about what it is in for you here. The most special thing about Shaklee is the community. I so love that I was asked to share tonight and that I'm able to give back my story and what Shaklee has meant to me in a bigger way to all of Shaklee. And I love that we connect with each other and we share and we support each other in the businesses that we're building all the time. I already mentioned this. It's worth mentioning again. Shaklee is a really stable company. We've been around for almost 60 years. And Shaklee's paid out over $7 billion in commissions, and they've never once missed a check. This is, I think, even more important in the digital age where it seems like anybody can just start a website any day and start selling products online, and there's no real regulation of how stable they are. With Shaklee, you know that you have something that you can count on. So again, this is an opportunity that's designed by you and is exactly what you want to make it. Just to finish off here, I want to ask you, and I want you to think back on the questions I asked you earlier and everything I shared, and I want to ask you, how do you see yourself fitting in right now today? Do you see yourself getting some products and starting to use those and seeing how you feel? Or maybe do you want to jump in a little further and use some products but also share with your close family and friends? Or do you want to build a team like I started doing a few years ago? That's obviously the one that I'm a little biased toward. It's what I did and I don't regret it. And if you're looking at that, just to break it down in more detail, from left to right, your three ways here are to use products, to share and earn, and to build a business. The business pack we have here, the $6.99 Gold Plus pack, that's actually the one that I did 3 years ago. And I did it before I had ever tried any of the products. But I knew that if these worked, I really loved Rebecca, who shared the products with me. And if these worked, I knew that I was going to have a big mouth and I was going to tell a whole lot of people about them. So it made a lot of sense for me to spend the money to just get a bunch of awesome products and try them all at once at a good deal and have the opportunity to consider sharing it later. I will never regret that choice. On the other hand, it's absolutely totally fine if you just want to try the Vitalizer and see how it makes you feel. So again, that's all I'm going to share tonight. And if one of these options is really standing out to you, I invite you, reach out to the person who invited you to this webinar tonight and thank them for inviting you and get started on whatever option feels right to you.